And joining me are Ambassador Anil Kumar Trigunayas and Professor Swaran Singh. Ambassador Trigunayas is a former Indian ambassador to Jordan, Libya, and Malta, and Professor Singh is with the School of International Studies at the Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Ambassador Trigunayas, Professor Singh, welcome to Newsnight. Good to have you join us on this discussion. Professor Singh, if I can start with you, would you like to give our viewers, those who are not familiar with the intricacies of the issue at hand here, walk our viewers through or give them an overview of India-Cambodia relations? Of the King of Cambodia is high on symbolism, but if we were to delve deeper into the specifics, the nuts and bolts, as it were, of bilateral ties, can both sides look to ramp up their relationship when it comes to connectivity, infrastructure development, energy security, or even for that matter, defense and security? In your estimation, is there scope for doing more on these counts?
I think first of all, Ramesh, it is important to underline the kind of warmth and chemistry that exists between leaders and people on both sides,
right,
which makes decision making and then particularly implementing those decisions much more easier for both sides. So you have age-old civilizational bonds, you have 95% Theravada Buddhism. Much of the people have lifestyles intrinsic to Indian culture. Language, again, the Khmer language is close to the Pallavi script from south of India. So people to people and therefore leaders' relationship get reflected then in contemporary cooperation, whether it is conservation of temples like Angkor Wat and several others, or it is India participating in agricultural sector, education, providing scholarships, trainings of all kinds. In fact, there are specifically designed modules and courses of training that Indian Army, for example, goes all the way there to provide them. So, whether it is guided lines being created for procuring Indian defense equipment, the fact that Cambodia is located in an area which is called Indochina, which is Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, which is where the scenic and Indic civilizations had traditionally kind of merged and blended or come to face, and that kind of essential, I think, the civilizational connect between two sides make it very attractive. And of course you can locate it whether in terms of both being partners in NAM, both being connected through ASEAN. For example, the first India-ASEAN summit was organized in Cambodia in 2002. So there could be multiple platforms and they become effective only because there is an essential DNA that kind of makes it easy to blend both sides. And then of course you have, for example, last year when India celebrated 30 years of India-ASEAN relations, Cambodia was in chair in that sense in that year. And once you have essential understanding and trust between two people, I think cooperation becomes easier. But let me just make last point in 30 seconds. The challenge today, of course, is because Cambodia is now getting deeply entrenched with Chinese.
Right, Professor Singh, if you just hold your thought about the various dimensions of the relationship. One keeps hearing about a connectivity project which links India, Myanmar, and Thailand, the trilateral highway. There is a proposal on the table. We are given to understand to extend that highway to other countries, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam as well. Could that be one concrete outcome or deliverable going forward? Number one. Number two, Ambassador Trigunayas mentioned about India's capacity building efforts in countries around the world, including Cambodia. Could that be also a key area of cooperation going forward in terms of infrastructure development in particular?
Ramesh, the idea of having a direct rail line starting from New Delhi all the way to Hanoi has been about 20 to 25 years old idea. And of course, of that, the trilateral expressway has now become far more potent in terms of decision making and implementation. But ultimately, that connectivity could take us to Cambodia and Vietnam as well. And that connectivity is going to really be possible because India is quite attractive to these countries. The level of development in these countries is such that our goods and services, our training capsules, all become fairly attractive to these countries, and therefore that is possible, except that certain amount of attention has to be, sort of given to those issue areas very clearly. Second, I think other than the defense cooperation, which I think provides a very solid backbone to any relationship, Indian foreign policy has been constantly focusing on culture and diaspora. And I think that is another thing which is often not highlighted, that even if it is a small country, there are about 1,500 to 2,000 people of Indian origin, Indian nationals, many of them with international organizations,
Right.
who are there. And I think India, as we see Indian Prime Minister, wherever he goes, connects with Indian diaspora, cultivating that diaspora along with defense cooperation would perhaps provide a certain both soft balancing and hard balancing of other competitors like China, we mentioned, which is becoming a major player in that region. So there are areas where specific initiatives can be made to, ensure and showcase advantage India in that sense. And Cambodia would definitely be, itself very willing now to ensure that it is not seen putting all eggs in one basket, and they would be happy to look at alternative. In fact, all of Southeast Asia has historically looked at India as an alternative to, not becoming too much dependent on China, and particularly Indochina specifically are countries which would like to see India's greater injection of connectivity, investments, and overall engagement with these people.
Absolutely. So, as my guests were saying in their interventions, India would do well to use both its soft and hard power to strengthen its ties with Cambodia going forward as well. On that note, may I thank both my guests, Professor Swaran Singh and Ambassador Anil Kumar Trigunayat, for joining us on Newsnight and sharing your thoughts with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.